Hi everybody, I'm Shane. Today we're going to be doing some testing here with our new heavy-duty pickup broom. There's a few features that we changed on this pickup broom to make it heavy-duty. One of the things that we did was we made the wafers a 26-inch outside diameter as opposed to the standard broom, which has a 24-inch wafer. We added a second wheel to the front of the frame for added support. We made the bucket heavier, and we're using a larger, more robust motor. So we'll go into this in a little bit of detail too as we go on. Okay, to start off with, wanted to show the difference between the standard wafer that we use on our other broom and our heavy-duty style. This is a 26-inch outside diameter wafer as opposed to a 24, and just that extra inch of material around the perimeter gives a theoretical increase in lifespan of about 28%. So there's a lot of material here in this last inch that can be worn off over time. And so you get a lot longer lifespan out of this larger wafer. The inside diameter is 6 3/8, the same for both, and they're made out of the same poly material. And to show you what a steel one looks like, so this is a steel wafer, and you can see it's just small little wires. And the steel wafers are really good for scraping up abrasive surfaces. So if you have mud packed in or stuck on a asphalt surface, they're going to work better than the poly because they're more abrasive on the tip. But also they wear faster than poly. Poly is inherently low friction material, and so it does a good job of sweeping and picking up material, but not necessarily scratching. And we also sell these as a combination where we alternate them along the arbor, poly steel, and then you can have a combination setup that gives you the best of both worlds, the best for sweeping and for abrasiveness. So you really have three choices: all poly, all steel, or a poly-steel combination. Okay, so first I want to talk a little bit about the caster wheels. It's really important that you have a pickup broom that you use one with caster wheels, and that's because you don't have to worry about setting the down pressure on the bristles. Once you adjust the end adjustment arms, you let the caster wheels hold the hood in the right position. You don't have to worry about how much down pressure you're at or what the rollout angle is. So that's why we use casters on all of our pickup brooms. Now these particular casters are rated for 675 pounds each, and we have two of them on this broom. Now, just to give you an idea, this hood only weighs about 300 pounds. It's an 84-inch pickup broom. Even with an additional 150 pounds or so of bristles and arbor, you're still well under the rated capacity for each wheel. The wheels themselves use a sealed ball bearing in the axle, and that's far superior to just a simple roller bearing. They're going to be sturdier and handle more load. And also we have on the perimeter here, we're using a soft rubber material, a compound that does not mar surfaces, so you can drive on sidewalks and you won't leave marks with these wheels. The wheel itself is an 8-inch diameter and it's 2 inches wide. So the beauty of this system is that you can really set it down and run it and not have to worry about that down pressure of the bristles, which is really important for bristle life. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the hydraulic motor we're using here. This is an American-made Eaton 2000 series motor. These motors are very robust and have huge bearings in them, so they're really oversized for a broom application like this. Brooms don't take very much horsepower, and so this motor is definitely very robust for this application. It also is protected here by a piece of 1/2-inch plate steel all the way around, so you know, sometimes there's obstacles where you're working, like mailboxes or signs. This will give you some protection against impacts with foreign objects. The whole arm here pivots against the frame, and so the pivot point is up at the front with a 3/4-inch bolt, and on the back we have a spring-loaded pin, and so it's very easy to adjust. You just loosen this bolt a little bit, and then you pull the pin out, and then you can rock this arm down as the bristles wear. So each lock position here is about 1 inch apart, so that's going to move your arbor down about 1/2 inch here in the middle. And you'll notice that the pivot point's up at the front, and the reason for that is so that as this arm pivots, the center line of the bristles and the arbor stay close to the front edge of your hood, and that's because pickup brooms counter-rotate. So if you're driving forward, you sweep against the direction of motion, and that's so it picks up the material. It's caught by the rubber mat on the front, and it goes over the top and into the bucket, and that's how pickup brooms work the best. So as this thing, as the arm rotates downward, you're going to keep that sweeper and those bristles close to the rubber mat on the front. We also have rubber mats on the side and on the top here to help seal in the dust in the bucket while you're working. So this bracket on the top here, this mount, is actually part of the optional water kit, and then it feeds water to a spray boom that mounts on the front of the hood, and that is used specifically for dust suppression. So if you're in an area where you don't want dust to get out into a residential area, you can use that to help reduce the amount of dust that gets into the air. On the right side of the heavy-duty pickup broom, I wanted to point out a few features. We're using an 1.5-inch sealed ball bearing, which has a rated capacity of 3,000 pounds at 300 RPM. Now, the RPMs will vary a little bit depending on what the flow rate of the skid steer is. This Kubota is running 20 gallons per minute on standard flow, and that's what we've been doing today here. And I'm only running it about half to 3/4 throttle. You don't need to run wide open throttle if you don't want to. Running at a reduced setting helps conserve fuel. We also have mounting holes on both sides of the broom for a gutter brush, and that's handy for getting that extra junk out of the gutter that the normal broom just can't pick up by itself. That's hydraulically operated and comes with an on-off valve that mounts on the left side. So our heavy-duty pickup broom uses a different style bucket where we're using 3-inch square tubing, 3/16 wall, it runs full width, as well as a 3/8-inch heel plate that runs the full width as well. Welded construction. What that gives you is a really stiff bucket because there is a load out here supporting the hood, and you want to make sure that the bucket doesn't twist under load.